In the 11th century, a time of intense political and social transformation, Europe was in a state of flux, with kingdoms rising and falling, and power shifting hands in a heartbeat. The societal structure was taking a new shape as feudalism firmly put down roots, casting long shadows on the lives of the common folk. Nobility was the order of the day, their power often unchecked and absolute. They were the law, the judge, and the executioner. Their whims and fancies could dictate the fate of entire regions. Their influence was far-reaching, affecting every sphere of life, from politics to religion, from economics to culture. But let us narrow our focus to a small but significant part of this era, the city of Coventry. Nestled in the heart of England, Coventry was a bustling hub, known for its vibrant markets and the toil of its industrious citizens. But like many other towns of its time, Coventry was under the iron grip of the nobility. Leading Coventry was a powerful couple, Lady Godiva and Earl Leofric. Leofric, the Earl of Mercia, was a man of formidable reputation. His rule was marked by a firm hand and a keen mind, making him a force to reckon with. Beside him stood his wife, Lady Godiva, a woman of grace and compassion. Her heart echoed with the plight of her people, and she was determined to do whatever it took to ease their burden. But the life of an 11th century commoner was far from easy. The taxes imposed by their rulers were crippling, leaving them to eke out a living amid hardship and despair. Repeated pleas for mercy fell on deaf ears, leaving them at the mercy of their powerful rulers. In this turbulent era, one noblewoman's act of courage would leave an indelible mark on history. The stage is set, the characters are in place, and the story of Lady Godiva is about to unfold. So, sit back and join us as we delve into the past to uncover a tale of bravery, defiance, and a ride that changed everything. Meet Lady Godiva, a compassionate noblewoman, and her husband, the powerful Earl Leofric of Mercia. Their union, a blend of power and empathy, was a significant part of Coventry's history in the 11th century. Lady Godiva, known for her kindness and benevolence, was deeply loved by the people of Coventry. She was their beacon of hope, a ray of sunshine amidst their stormy lives. Her heart, as vast as the sea, held a profound empathy for the common folks. She felt their struggles, their pain, as if they were her own. In stark contrast was her husband, Earl Leofric, a man of immense power and influence. As Lord of Coventry and the Earl of Mercia, he held the reins of the city's economy in his firm grasp. His rule was characterized by heavy taxation, a burden that weighed heavily on the people of Coventry. Leofric, although a wise ruler in many aspects, was often blind to the plight of his subjects, viewing the taxes as a necessary evil for the prosperity of the kingdom. Their contrasting personalities often led to disagreements. Godiva, with her tender heart, pleaded with Leofric to lessen the financial burden on their people. She argued passionately for their cause, becoming their voice in the face of relentless taxation. Her pleas, however, fell on deaf ears, as Leofric dismissed her concerns with a wave of his hand. He firmly believed that prosperity came with a price the citizens of Coventry had to pay. Yet it was not the difference in their beliefs that defined their relationship, but their shared rule over Coventry. Despite their contrasting views on taxation, they were bound by their duty towards their people. They were two sides of the same coin, balancing power and empathy, each playing a crucial role in the story of Coventry. Godiva's heart ached for her people, burdened by her husband's crippling taxes. But little did she know, her compassion was about to spark a legend, a tale that would echo through the corridors of time. One day, Lady Godiva challenges her husband's harsh tax policies. She stands in the grand hall of their shared castle, her voice echoing off the high stone walls. Her words are not spoken in anger, but in a plea for compassion. She implores her husband to see the suffering of their people, to understand the strain his heavy taxes have placed on their weary shoulders. Yet, Leofric, her powerful husband, Earl of Mercia and Lord of Coventry, is dismissive. He sees the taxes as a necessary evil, a means to maintain the power and prestige of their noble status. His responses are curt, his tone indifferent. He tells her that the people must bear their burden, just as they bear theirs. But Godiva, a woman of the people, refuses to be silenced. She continues to plead for mercy, her words painting vivid pictures of the hardship endured by the citizens of Coventry. She speaks of the mothers unable to feed their children, of the fathers working themselves to the bone, and of the elderly, too frail to work, yet unable to rest. Her pleas fall on deaf ears. Leofric, unmoved by his wife's passionate speech, issues a challenge. He tells her, in a voice as cold as the stone walls surrounding them, that he would only lower the taxes if she were to ride naked on horseback through the center of town. His words hang in the air, a chilling reminder of the lengths to which he would go to maintain his grip on power. He expects his challenge to silence his wife, to put an end to her persistent pleas. He expects her to balk at the thought of such a humiliating act, to shrink away in fear and embarrassment. However, he underestimates the depth of Godiva's compassion, her commitment to the people she considers her own. Confronted with this impossible challenge, Godiva was faced with a monumental decision. Casting aside her fears, Godiva chose to accept her husband's challenge. With this resolution, a legendary ride was set into motion, a ride that would forever etch Lady Godiva's name in the annals of history. It wasn't just a ride, it was a statement of defiance, an act of courage that transcended the norms of her time. Godiva, in her determination to lighten the burden of her fellow citizens, mounted her horse with nothing but her long tresses to cover her dignity. A noblewoman she was, yet she chose to bear herself for the sake of the common folk, an act of bravery that was unheard of in the 11th century. As she rode through the center of town, the respect of the townspeople for their lady was palpable. There was an unspoken agreement, a pact of honor among the people of Coventry. Despite the unusual spectacle, none dared to violate the dignity of their lady. The streets were deserted as everyone stayed indoors, their eyes averted, out of respect and admiration for Godiva's courage. The echo of the horses' hooves, the only sound breaking the stillness of the town, resonated far and wide, marking the trail of a ride that would become legendary. The tale of Godiva's ride spread across the town, the country, and centuries later, across the world. Upon completion of the ride, Godiva returned to her husband, Earl Leofric. He, in turn, was stunned by his wife's audacity and courage. True to his word, and perhaps humbled by Godiva's bravery, Leofric lifted the heavy taxes levied upon the people of Coventry. The townsfolk rejoiced, their burdens lightened, their spirits uplifted. The tale of their lady's daring act was passed down through generations, a testament to her courage and their respect. Godiva's act of courage had won the day, changing the fate of Coventry's citizens forever. As the story of Lady Godiva echoed through the centuries, it continues to inspire and intrigue, a timeless tale of courage, respect, and the power of a single act to bring about change. Lady Godiva's ride echoes through the centuries, reminding us of the power of courage and sacrifice. Her audacious act, born from a deep sense of compassion and justice, has resonated throughout history, casting ripples that continue to impact us today. While the story of Lady Godiva is steeped in the mists of time, its essence remains relevant, reminding us of the lengths to which one might go to shield the vulnerable from injustice. Lady Godiva's tale is not just a story of a noblewoman, it is a tale of empowerment, of standing up to power, and of challenging the status quo. It is about using one's position and influence to effect change, no matter how unconventional the methods might be. Her ride through Coventry wasn't just a ride, it was a statement, a protest against oppressive taxation, a plea for empathy and understanding. From a broader perspective, Lady Godiva's story is a beacon of hope and resilience. It illustrates that change often comes at a personal cost, but it's a cost worth bearing for the greater good. Lady Godiva risked her reputation and dignity to alleviate the burden of her people, demonstrating that true leadership lies in serving those whom you lead. Her story continues to inspire us today, reminding us that it is not enough to be aware of injustice. We must act against it. It encourages us to be brave, to step out of our comfort zones, and to use our voices for those who cannot speak for themselves. It teaches us that we can make a difference, no matter how insurmountable the odds seem. Lady Godiva's legacy lives on, not just in the annals of history, but in the spirit of every individual who dares to challenge the norm, to question authority, and to fight for justice. Her story is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit and the transformative potential of courage and compassion. Before leaving, she ordered the people of Coventry to remain inside their homes and not peek, but one man named Tom couldn't resist opening his window to get an eyeful. Upon doing so, this peeping Tom was struck blind. The legend of Peeping Tom, meanwhile, didn't become a part of the tale until the 16th century. The Godiva myth was later popularized in songs and in verse by the likes of Alfred Lord Tennyson, who wrote a famous poem called Godiva in 1840.